Hello, I'm Kym Zest, and this here is Pigeon. Will's behind the computer running the show. Welcome to Pajama Yin Yoga. For the three of you who are tuned in, I will share that I wear a Apple Watch to bed and it tracks my sleep. And this morning I was very confused when my watch told me that I just didn't exist for an hour in the middle of the night. It said I wasn't asleep. I wasn't anywhere. I was super confused. It's like I was wearing my watch. I was asleep. Daylight savings. Yep. Got very confused by that. So I did exist all through the night, despite what my watch says. So if you joined early and are foam rolling, you're welcome to do so throughout the intro. You might also use this time to finish setting up. I will not be playing any music on my end, but you are welcome to on yours. I'm a big fan of using lots of props for this practice. So soft, flexible props such as yoga mats. I like using blankets. Soft, thick props, I've got these pillows. And then stiffer props, I have foam roller and yoga blocks, books, Tupperware work, and then all sorts of other things if you have other kinds of fitness equipment. Even just furniture and walls are also handy. So anything you have in your environment can be a great addition to helping you have a practice that feels really good. We will begin with a short movement flow followed by a seated meditation. Tonight we will do 3 yin poses before a final relaxation. I'm always welcoming you to substitute a movement, a posture, an exercise, meditation, whatever works for you. There will also be transition time between each yin pose for movement or stillness of your choice. During this time, there's no right position, there's no correct alignment for traditional poses because there's no force applied, there's no progression goal, it doesn't need to look like anything in particular. For each yin posture, I'll suggest several different options, beginning with minimal props and a simple variation, and then adding variation, adding props. While I demonstrate, that's your time to explore those different options, even if you've done it many times before. After my demo, I'll return to a seated position to watch the time for 2 to 3 minutes. Whatever position you choose to stay in should feel safe to release all muscular tension and effort while experiencing quiet sensations in those long lines of connective tissue. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Normally I would say let's begin. We'll get there in a moment, but I forgot to remind everyone that the beauty of doing this on YouTube is that we can make it free and accessible to anyone and everyone who needs it. Feel free to share. But it is only possible with support from people who appreciate this, and we'll talk about that at the end. Mixed up my intro there. We are about to start, so if you need to move some of your props, your fuzzy animal props, Pigeon, I'm sorry, you're going to need to move. Pigeon, you have your own prop. Oh, we take our cues from Pigeon on how to be as limp as possible. Right there, Pigeon. Oh, okay, or not. So we're going to do some hip mobility for our little bit of movement. So you're going to come into a deep squat, whatever variation is good for you. We're going to be engaged in your legs, but as low down as you can. So wherever that is for you, heels can be off the ground if that's where your heels are. You're going to have your hands close together in front, and so you can be a little bit load-bearing on your hands. And then you're going to swivel one knee out and twist the shoulders, really rotating that knee back and out. My foot coming onto its side, only as far as you are comfortable. Whatever that looks like for you is totally fine. Opening up the hips out to the side. And if you wanted to add a breath connection, inhaling, opening up the hips, exhaling to center, inhaling out to the side, Exhaling, center. Taking another round or two. And then a little transition if you want to rock side to side, if you want to put the knees down, if you want to just shake out the legs a little bit. We're going to do one more variation of a deep squat hip opening move. So coming back into your deep squat. And this time I'm going to go hands wide and further out. Hi, pigeon. Hands wide and further out. So now I have room for my knees to come down in the center. So even if your squat is higher up, I'm swiveling one knee at a time down in the center. Inward swivel. Rotating through the pelvis and the femur, also pivoting on the toes. And then if you wanted to add that breath connection, inhale for the pivot, exhale center, inhale. Taking another round or two. And then releasing. Taking any transition that feels right. If there are other movements, other flows, other exercises that help you sort of break away from the day, get into your body. And then when you're ready, we'll be setting up for our seated meditation. For the meditation, you want to sit in just a comfortable upright position with as minimal physical distraction as possible. So if you have a chair available to you, feel free to sit in a chair. Just want to sit in a stable position with your feet on the ground and a tall upright spine. If you're on the floor, you might sit with the legs extended in various options. Legs folded back, or the legs crossed. Whichever position you choose, sitting propped up on something. Actually, I'm going to feel like being a little bit higher. Sitting propped up on something in any position that you're in generally makes it more comfortable for the hips, knees, and ankles. So sitting up, and then if you, depending on the sitting position you're in, if you need any pillows or any other props underneath you to protect you from the ground or to support you, getting those set up. Arranging your other props, your pet props. And now settled in, you can have the palms up, down, or clasped in your lap. Eyes closed or a soft, steady gaze on the floor in front of you. Bring your awareness in to your body. Notice your breath. You might even be able to feel the rhythm of your heart. As you settle into stillness, letting go of physical movement, but also the demands of your day. Observe how your heart rate and your breathing rate gradually slow. There will always be distractions, whether they come from my side of the camera or in your environment or your body or your mind. Whenever you notice yourself following those distractions, either fidgeting or mentally, come back to your breath, watching your breath, watching your body, slowly winding down with less demand on your body to do and respond. Watch it slowly calm and slow and steady. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. From that calm, quiet state, expanding your breath. Letting your breath be active. Feeling your breath move your body. Nod your chin towards your chest. Opening your eyes, reintroducing movement. Taking whatever movement's going to feel good for you after sitting so still. As we set up for our first yin posture, we were meditating. If your eyes were closed, you would not have noticed this, but Pigeon sat right in front of my prompt and timer right off the screen, and I had to move her, which was a good reminder for me to share that while we do our stillness, whether it's in a seated meditation or in the yin postures we're about to do, we're aiming for stillness, but we are also constantly aware of the shifting sensations inside our bodies in response to the position we're in. And this is a good practice for everyone. I'll relate it specifically to being an athlete or taking on any sort of intentional physical movement practice. Now, when we do those things, oftentimes we are challenging ourselves, and there is discomfort inevitably in that athletic fitness activity. That's part of the point, is it's challenging us. And what we want to do is constantly ask ourselves, is this a sensation that is truly damaging, that I need to do something about? I need to change my posture, I need to change my technique, I need to respond to it to relieve that sensation? Or is this a normal sensation that I need to just acknowledge and then focus on the task at hand and allow it to fade, that we don't chase it? All the time when we're doing sort of athletic and fitness things, there are lots of sensations that can feel uncomfortable but are perfectly normal and non-damaging. And yet sometimes one of the limiting factors in us being able to do what we want to do is mentally latching on to those physical discomforts and adding on more stress and concern and spiraling other problems. At the same end, it's important to acknowledge when there really is danger and harm. So when we're in stillness, setting ourselves up very carefully, most of the time we should be set up in a way that there's no damage. But we're not blocking it out either. It's a good time and a good way to practice this in as low risk situation as we can have. So with that little spiel over with, Pigeon, I'm very sorry, but again, I'm going to need this space. You have your own very special spot. This is your prop. Apparently unsatisfied with her prop. So we're going to do a yin posture focusing on the connective tissue in your hip, particularly your outer hip. No, Pigeon. I need to be able to see that, Pigeon. Anywhere but there. Some days she's so good. From hands and knees, I'm going to take one leg and bring it forward. I'm going to place left knee by left wrist with my shin at a diagonal. I'm going to slide the other leg back. And I might choose to stay here. I might choose to come down. And many other variations here. So one is simply the angle of the front leg. So you could kick it out further out. This is not a sustainable, accessible place for me, but if it feels right for you, go for it. You might simply be leaning to one side or another. And as I mentioned before, you can be more upright. So if you choose a more upright position, again, we want passive, long-held poses, completely relaxed. So if you choose upright, just make sure you're setting yourself up in a way that you can, the rest of you can be really at ease. If you're choosing lower and looking for more props, you can prop higher up. You can prop supporting your hip, supporting your torso. All sorts of ways that you might prop yourself. You want to prop yourself in such a way that the posture isn't too intense, that the weight of your body, that gravity, that the position isn't making you feel like you are in danger of going too far and hurting yourself. So you want to feel supported enough. You also want to feel that you're not having to actively push yourself into the pose. So playing with the variations, playing with your setups. Trying one thing and another. Sometimes it takes settling in with your props, taking a couple deep breaths, reassessing more or less. And wherever you are, let go of the fidgeting and the readjustments. And sink into your body and your breath. With each breath, seeing how much you can trust your body to let go and release. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And using this breath, active breath, to help you come out nice and slow. You might even just explore some movements in this position. always welcome to do any variation movement that feels right for you. You can do a standing pose. You can lie on your back. And then when you're ready, setting up the other side. As you set up the other side, always giving yourself the time and the room for this side to need something different. Don't just rush into whatever position you were in for the other side. It might need different angles, it might need different support. This is not the time where we are aiming for symmetry. Take that asymmetry and address whatever that asymmetry needs. Whatever feels right and good. We're finding whatever is sticky and tight. Giving your body some time to open up in those areas. So playing with angle of torso, angle of leg, level of support. Finding wherever you can feel safest, to have the most relaxed, passive opening that your bodies and hips can have. In stillness, allowing yourself to observe all the shifting sensations. Always coming back to your breath. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Using this breath to help you come out. Transitioning slowly and gradually. Taking either movement or stillness. There's nothing wrong with simply laying down or sitting supported in a comfortable neutral position, observing just what effects the position had. Then we'll set up for our next yin posture. So for this, start in a seated, mostly upright position, legs extended out. And then I'm going to take one leg and fold it back. How much you fold is up to you. So it might be a little bit of a fold. I might tuck it in pretty close, wherever it feels good. We're going to feel a line of fascial tension from in the front of the body, and knee and up into torso, and also knee and down into toe. The key is to feel a long line. If you feel just a single point, then readjust. So folding it back, and then normally we would just lean as far back as you can, and then support behind you, leaning up against something. But in this case, I want you to play with the angle a little bit and then twist away from the folded leg. So you might twist just a little bit. You might twist a lot. And in doing the twist, hopefully we're getting that line to really come up into the torso, but it's still in through the knee, in the front of the knee and down the shin. And once you're in a twist, you might again readjust where you want your foot. Maybe closer, maybe farther. Playing with the angle of your twist. Lots of options. And then as always, I could prop underneath my torso here so that there's less weight on my forearms or my hands. Propping here, I might prop underneath the knee, or I might prop underneath the shin so that there's less pressure on my ankle. This is a great option as well, as just putting something underneath the shin, so that way my ankle can be bent and not pushed back by the floor. Lots of options. Prop underneath my hip. So finding a position that works for you. Feel free to do something entirely different if this one is not what you'd like. Making those adjustments. Getting pigeon to not purr directly into the microphone. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath, feeling your breath in this position. And then gently releasing the folded leg, choosing any posture or stillness. Then we'll set up for the other side. And Pigeon is feeling both contrary and needy tonight. So on the other side, same thing. We're going to start sitting mostly upright and then fold the other leg. Play with angle. Play with level of twist. Know that this side might need something entirely different. Play with level of support. This is when you can get pretty creative with what kind of props you use, whether you use furniture or straps, a belt, more pillows. So whether I choose something pretty tucked in or something more open and supported. And that's not a better or worse or right or wrong. It simply shifts where the emphasis is. Playing with support. As you stay in this position, releasing tension and releasing everywhere in both the line of fascial stretch, but also in your jaw, in your toes, perhaps in your shoulders or your neck. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Using this breath to help you come out gradually, maybe even exploring the movement On the other side. And then as always, taking whatever transition feels right for you. You might still be in your transition. I'm going to start moving my props for our next posture. Pigeon is particularly entertaining tonight. So for our last yin posture, start very simply sitting flat on the ground with the legs extended straight out in front, and then allowing your torso to fold forward. Looking for long lines of stretch from the sole of the foot, behind the ankle, behind the knee, behind the thigh, into the glutes, up the spine, along the spine, into the neck, all the way up to the brow. Longest line that you can possibly feel. You might not feel it everywhere, but longest that you can set yourself up for. If you're anything like me, sitting here like this, it's just there's not much room to go, and gravity can't really assist me here. So sitting up on something is really helpful. When I do this, not on camera, I will sit up on a footstool. That's about the right height for me. Sitting up on a chair is a perfectly good option as well. So sitting up higher is going to just change the angle, so it allows me to fold forward more, allows gravity to really help me in this position. And then in this position, now my knees have no support, so you might add support underneath the knees and still keep them straight. Sometimes that's not enough, or if you're in a chair, you might just end up bending the knees. And then one of the reasons I'm facing where I am is because I am a fan of also having my feet supported, which allows me to feel a little more of that line into the sole of my foot. And depending on how you're set up, you might need padding underneath the heels. Add And if the weight of your head might feel really good as a stretch and relief through the upper back and spine and neck, but it might be too intense. So finding the variations that work best for you. Trying different heights. This is one with so many options for propping. So trying different heights of what you sit on, trying different propping for your knees, or different positions for your knees, different positions for your feet, different support for your ankles and your feet, support for your head, where you'd like to place your arms. And then eventually, although the variations are endless, picking one for tonight. watching change unfurl at its own pace. No need to create change. Lengthening and deepening your breath. Feeling your active breath change the sensation of where you have landed. Eventually unfurling, coming up. Perhaps using your arms to help your legs come out. And again, taking any transition that you'd like. I'm going to start setting up for a relaxation, but if you need to do another posture, something else that's going to feel right for you that you need before lying down, go ahead and take that time. So eventually settling in to a nice comfortable position. You might put your pillows underneath your knees or get some extra support under your ankles or your low back, something under the neck or head. You might take a blanket and just wrap yourself up in a blanket, or use something to cover your eyes. And allowing your body to lie completely at ease. Let your mind find ease in following your breath, watching your breath flow in and out as if it were a wave. lengthening and deepening your breath. Using this active breath to reawaken movement, spreading fingers and toes, curling them up, rolling wrists and ankles, reaching out long and big before curling into a ball. And then releasing your legs, putting your feet on the ground, taking your palms together, rubbing your palms together, and placing your palms over your eyes. Using your fingers to massage your scalp and your brow, your temples, sinuses, your jaw, ears, pulling on your earlobes, massaging behind your ears, back of your neck, and then rolling over onto your side. Using your arms to help you sit up. Finding a comfortable seated position. We'll conclude with 3 breaths together. Together we'll inhale through the nose and exhale audibly out the mouth. Together, in through the nose. In through the nose. One more. Thank you to the 6 of you who are here. YouTube just gives us a number. It's always really lovely when we get a hello in the live chat. It's just nice to know more than a number. And then we can only continue doing this with people's active support. And there are 3 ways to do that. One is if you know this is worthwhile for you, you want it to continue to be available for other people, is you can become a sustaining member on Patreon. It's patreon.com/zested. For $10 a month, not only do you continue to support this for everyone, but you get bonus videos, and we're always looking for other ways we can show our appreciation and support to the members. Members, if you have any ideas, let us know, but we have some brewing as well. And number 2 is a one-time donation. So you can donate to paypal.me/zested, and even just $5 is a way for you to, just another way for you to say hello, buy us a beer, let us know this is appreciated. And then the 3rd way is to communicate. There are so many ways to do that. You can communicate with friends and family and spread the word, let them know about this. You can communicate by emailing me. Please email me. It's Kym@zested.net, and let me know your favorite pigeon moment. That's a great one. So I'm gonna give you that prompt so that you can, everyone let me know what your favorite pigeon moment that you've seen during Yin Yoga. And then you can also communicate by following us on Facebook or Instagram, or signing up for our mailing list on our website. So those are 3 ways, but anything at all where you can reach out and let us know this is worth continuing for you is appreciated. So I don't know where Pigeon went. Pigeon was incredibly active today, unlike 2 weeks ago where she sat stone still the entire time. Normally she'd be here by now. Pigeon, you want to come say goodbye? I will share as closing that tonight Pigeon was the most challenging she's ever been. I tried desperately not to laugh in the middle of what should have been a very relaxing practice for you. Oh, there she is. um, yeah, this was like those children's games in which you try very hard not to laugh. I barely managed it. Hopefully it was a wonderful practice for you and that you will sleep better tonight. Thank you. Have a peaceful evening.